Good afternoon. How are you? I hope you're well. I was just reading. Let me just share this, and then I can just give you my undivided attention. I was just reading my quote today, and I suddenly thought, do you know what? I think that's a bit harsh, don't you? Do you know what I mean? And then I thought, no, actually, I think it's probably a little bit. I think it's fair. So let's have a read of this. It depends what side of the fence you sit, I must admit. You think too much effort is needed to succeed? Then enjoy your effortless failure. It is actually a bit harsh. I get that. Thank you for joining me. But do you know what? Sometimes far too many of us bow out of challenges because, let's just face it, we can't be asked, really. That's the truth. And yet it can take a bit of effort to keep moving forward. But then if that's the case, if you're not prepared to put the effort in, if you've just decided, do you know what, I just can't be bothered, I'm too drained, or life's just, then you have to take the consequences. And you have to appreciate that you're going to have the same shit that you had yesterday. Does that make sense? It says here, want to know who's watching your video? Swipe left to see your viewers. That's quite cool. Oh, that's cool. How cool's that? I never knew you could do that because I was permanently sort of peering. How lovely. I shall do that more often. Thank you, Facebook. So are you in a situation where you think, oh my God, I just don't want the same old rubbish. I need to make changes. But you can't be bothered to put in the donkey work. I get that. I fully appreciate that. But, you know, if you're not happy with the way life is, then you've got to make the changes yourself. I think the thing is, we have to accept that. I think we have to. I do see quite in my line of work. There are two camps of people. One camp that says, right, I'm ready for change. Let's get on with it. Let's just do this. And the other ones sort of say, I can't cope with the way it is any longer, and do, you know, sort of do it for me. Why can't you just sort my life out? No, sorry, mate, but it's your life, not mine. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard. I get that, but it's important to take responsibility. I'm afraid we're all grown-ups, and if you're not grown up, then you're a kid, and yeah, I'm afraid so. You still have to take responsibility. You guys, especially at the minute, who are going through revision and exams and all that stuff, yeah? Let's face it, if you don't put the effort in, you're not going to get the results you want, are you? That's the way of it. And that's actually all right, because I think... I'm not saying it has to be hard work. I'm not saying it's got to be a slog. But I think if we put effort in, we get the rewards. How cool is that? Yeah? So I think there's nothing worse, let's face it, than someone that flies by the seat of their pants and puts no effort in and gets all the rewards. You know, I had those people in my class. They sort of tipped up to exams and went, oh God, I haven't done anything. And actually, seriously, a lot of them hadn't. Some of them lied, I get that. But, you know, but there were those annoying ones that hadn't done any work and just A-graded, and oh, bloody hell, that was annoying. I think I convinced myself I did lots and lots of work, and actually I was just colouring in my revision timetable because I was very, very good at having it sort of colour coordinated and looking just right. Do you know what I mean? But the point is, are you going to actually... Mohammed Ali sort of said a good quote. I can't even remember. Rosemary, darling, thank you for joining us. It's good to see you. And there are other people there, but because of your privacy settings, I can't see who you are. So thank you for joining us anyway. Muhammad Ali did a good quote, and it was something along the lines of, I couldn't stand, he basically said, I hated practice and I hated training and I hated putting the work in. But the point is that if you have that goal in mind, if you are aware of what the end result is going to be and what your, that light at the end of the tunnel for you, then it does make that effort, I was going to say slog, but that sounds so negative. It makes the effort that you are putting in worthwhile. Rosemary, is a bit like your situation when you're, the foundry that's being sort of built and created at the minute. If you've got that end result, the end goal, the vision at the end of it all, the work and the determination to get there, the determination is sort of underlined and but it's just that effort and the planning and the work you have to do to get there makes it all worthwhile. So the question is, guys, whatever you're doing, whether or not you're, building an extension, or whether or not you are wanting to have better relationships in your family. My course started today. Still not too late to join. But if you are looking to, whatever it is that your A-levels and GCSEs are a great point at the minute, because kids should be thinking quite hard about revising. Whatever your plans are, if you're prepared to put the effort in, then you're going to get good results. It just depends how much you want the results. Have you given up chocolate for Lent? And have you stuck at it? The question is, why did you? Why do you make these decisions? If your why is big enough, you will stick to it. Does that make sense? I am on a sort of health kick, nothing to do, well, yeah, I was going to say it's nothing to do with weight. It is, obviously, but my motivator is not, I want to lose weight. My motivator is I want to be healthier, so that I have a sort of more positive end goal. One thing that NLP very much says is it's your motivators, it's your towards and your away from goals. If your goals are positive, you have a bigger chance of succeeding than if your goals are negative. Now that might sort of, what on earth does she mean like that? Let's use a good example I use is debt. If you are trying to get away from debt, then what happens is that you sort of save and don't spend £3.50 on a latte every time you walk out of the front door. But you are thinking, right, well, I don't want to be broke any longer. Okay, so that's fine, and you want to get out of debt. So you stop spending and you curb your spending habits, and you're looking at your expenses and, well, I mustn't do that and I mustn't do that, and that's fine. And so here's debt, and so you get a little bit further away and you're I was going to say maybe even you can't start saving because you're still in debt. But what happens is, say you sort of get about here and you are finally out of the red and you're in the black. Well, that, as far as your unconscious mind concerned, is a completion of the goal. Does that make sense? So your unconscious mind goes, oh, well, I'm no longer in debt, so that's absolutely lovely. And what happens? You go straight back to it again. So, and it's what Donald Trump does, actually. If you look at the way his business goes, he goes from sort of, bankruptcy to billionaire to bankruptcy to billionaire. And he just keeps on going, because I think he was quoted as saying something along the lines of, it was something about his negative, financial situation rather than the positive. So the point is if you are wanting to get out of debt, then your goal should be something along the lines of, I want to have a healthy bank balance that is able to fund my lifestyle. That's different, because then what happens, you get here and you get out of the red and you're in the black. but you still can't fund that lifestyle, so you've still got to keep on trying. Does that make sense? So you've got to go a little bit further. So the question is, as far as the effort to succeed is concerned, have a think about your goals, and are they positive ones or negative ones? So rather than, I don't want to be fat any longer, well, you know, you might lose say you've got 3 stone to lose, but, you know, and you lose 1 stone, your unconscious mind will go, oh, well, I'm not as fat as I was, hurrah. And then it sort of takes its foot off the pedal and goes straight back. Whereas if you sort of say, I want to weigh this so that I can look fantastic in the summer or whatever, that is a more positive frame of mind, and it allows your unconscious mind to keep putting the effort in to get there. So my quote, you think too much effort is needed to succeed, then enjoy your effortless failure. God, that's hard. No wonder I didn't get any likes for this one. But what I do agree is that if you sit on your backside and do nothing, you're going to get nothing. I'm not saying it has to be a slog, but it's that concerted decision that Barack Obama said, you know, decisions don't have to take forever. It can be done in an instant. I am going to do this. That's what I did when I gave up smoking. I'm going to give up smoking, not on Monday because I don't like doing things on Monday, but I'm going to do it on Tuesday. And it wasn't just sort of, oh, well, I'll really try to give up smoking, because if you try to do something, Colin, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. I'm talking about sort of how much effort and you put into your goals, and if your goals are strong enough, if you want them enough. And I've totally lost my train of thought, but it's very much along the lines of, you know, trying. If you try to do something, it automatically implies that it's difficult. Yeah, does that make sense? And these things don't have to be difficult if you have made the decision to get on with it. I made the decision way before patches and all this nicotine gum and vapes and all that sort of stuff. I made that decision, right, well, I'm no longer a smoker, and that was fine. And yeah, okay, I had ups and downs and I was pacing the floor sometimes, but I just decided that it wasn't actually going to be an effort. And when we decide that, or it wasn't going to be a hard effort, yes, it was going to be an effort, but I wanted the long-term goal more. Does that make sense? It's not that I want to stop smoking. It's no, actually, I want to have a healthy body. And I gave up 2 or 3 years before I got pregnant and had kids, but I knew that there was no way I was going to be a smoker as a pregnant woman. So I sort of had that long-term goal anyway. So I knew what the end result was going to be before I even slogged away at it. And it's the same. It's the same with whatever you're doing. It's just how much you want that end goal. So kids, come on. If you are, if you are doing GCSEs, and forget about my mum will shoot me if I don't do very well. Forget that, because that's a negative motivator before you even start. Good afternoon, Jane. Thank you for joining us. If you kids are you're sort of struggling a bit, and you know you've got exams, look at what your end goal wants to be. And say, right, well, if I'm doing GCSEs, I want to get into the 6th form, or not, as the case may be. You might just want to be that person that thinks, God, I can't wait to get away. But it's if you keep the options open, and if you work for your end goals and the good grades, it keeps those doors open for you as well. So you have more choices. Does that make sense? If you come out with a clatter of U's, I don't even know if don't they grade them differently now? Aren't they going to be doing them with 1s and 2s? I don't know. I've lost track. But if you're at the bottom of the pile, you will have closed a number of doors before you even start, so that your back's against the wall. So if you want to keep your options open, regardless if you want to go into sixth form or if, I don't know, and you can't wait to be a vet, well, then you know the subjects you really should be concentrating on. If you can't wait to be a vet, the Battle of Hastings is not hugely important, but how to do a bloody titration and I don't know, change a sulfate into something else is quite important. So know where your goals are. If you're if you're waiting to take A-levels, the majority of you, if you are heading to university, you will have your conditional. If you've got an unconditional offer, I salute you. But the majority of you will have conditional offers waiting on your grades, so you know what your target is. And do me a favour. This is important. If you think, oh well, they're just asking for 2 B's and a C. Don't aim for just 2 B's and a C, because if you miss it by 2%, you're buggered. Aim for the A's and the B's, because if you miss that by 2%, you'll still get the 2 B's and a C. Does that make sense? Yeah? So aim high, always aim high, because it keeps all those doors open. But if you just think, oh, I can't be asked, oh, I don't want that, do you know what? Your goal ain't the right goal. So if you're thinking, oh, well, I really need to do that, but I can't be bothered, I'm sorry, you need to find a different goal. Simple as that. And I've had years and decades of that. So believe me, I know what I'm talking about. I was in corporate and doing IT, and then I I then changed careers, and I was a photographer, and there was always a, well, that would be nice, and oh God, yeah, well, I really ought to do that. And do you know what? I couldn't be bothered. So really, what I suggest is find those goals that set your heart alight. Find those things that make you suddenly realise, oh my God, this is so bloody cool. This is what I want to do. And do you know what? Thank you for sharing. I appreciate this, Colin. The really good thing is that when you find what floats your boat, oh, it's fab. Because, my God, what I have achieved in the last 6 to 8 months is ridiculous, because I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I have released an app. Go and search on in your app store, Teen Toolbox, and it's an app which is all full of this stuff, positive thinking and downloadables and videos and hints and tips and stuff. It's not just for parents and kids, though it's marketed towards that. It's for anyone that wants to make a difference, anyone that wants to change their thinking to get more positive results. Simple as. Teen Toolbox. And I've sort of developed that. I've written a book, and I just got a note from my editor that I should be getting the final draft back today or tomorrow. And I have launched my first online course, and that went live today. All of which was achieved within, I don't know, I've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, but it hasn't felt like a slog. It has been hard work, but I've loved it, and it's the thing that I want to share with the world. And when you know what you're doing is what you should be doing, oh hallelujah. So find your goal so that you think too much effort is needed to succeed. No, if it's too much effort, seriously, it's the wrong goal. Oh, enjoy your effortless failure. I do think that's a bit harsh. I'm not going to apologise for it, because it's not my quote, so there you are. But if you feel like throwing in the towel, your goal ain't the right goal for you. It's not big enough, or it's not compelling enough. So go and find a goal that is compelling. Go and find a goal that you go, hell yeah. Whatever it is, I don't care. It's up to you what you want to do. You might suddenly be sitting there going, I've got to get 2 A's and a B to go to Exeter University, and all I want to do is, I don't know. But if it's not that, you've got some thinking to do, and that's all right. We all change direction. I'm great at it, and you're allowed to make different choices. But the point is that in that process of making your choices, don't burn the bridges until you've crossed them. if that makes sense. So don't shut the doors. Don't limit your options. It's best to keep as many options open as you can. Kids, revision. Stick to it. Don't just colour in your revision timetable. Actually do the blimmin' work. There's a link further down. I might I'll do another exam post because I think we all need it. It's that time of year. But whatever it's I was under the impression when I was younger that you had to work really, really, really hard to get whatever you wanted. Oh, well, hard work and effort, and it's got to be a slog in order to get there. I actually, thankfully, don't believe that any longer. I think it feels like hard work and like you're walking through treacle if you don't want to do it. So, yeah, that was me in corporate world. God, it was like hard work. I permanently thought I was going to get rumbled. I felt like an imposter. Let me just take a slurp. So my point is that if it feels like hard work, are you doing the right thing? But this post is basically saying if you're sitting on your backside doing nothing, then hallelujah, you're not going to get anything that's different. I'm not saying it's bad, but don't come moaning later saying, oh, I just wish my life would change. Well, if you want your life to change, do something about it. It's up to you. Many people can help you. Go to my app, that'll help you. My book, when it's coming out, that'll help you. Lots of motivational stuff. But if you can't be asked, you can be a victim or you can take responsibility. It's totally up to you. So there you are. And on that note, I shall love you and leave you. But just have a think, because you can't get someone else to do the hard. What Jim Rohn said. You cannot get someone else to do your push-ups for you. Good old Jim Rohn. He was right, wasn't he? So, you're going to do those push-ups? Or are you just going to curl over? Totally up to you. It doesn't really matter. But if you want change, then, do those push-ups. You don't have to do 100. Start off with 1 or 2. And then 3 or 4. Or if you want to maybe if you want to run the marathon and you've never run anything in your life, well, start off with a half marathon. So what do you do? Well, I don't run. No, actually, I understand that. I don't run. But for those people that say, I don't know how to run, great program. Couch to 5K or whatever. That's a brilliant program. Go and do that. It'll do baby steps. It'll show you how to start off. You're not going to run 26 miles or 13 miles if you've never done it before and you don't have a set of trainers. But you can build up to it. And yes, it will take effort. If you enjoy it, it won't be hard work. It'll be fun. So go and find out what floats your boat. And on that note, I shall love you and leave you. Thank you.